Hello everyone, welcome back to the end of Lantern Year 1. So real quick, I wanted to introduce you guys to the various characters that I decided to create for this campaign, and I wanted everyone to have surnames, so a lot of these are going to be made up here, but I went ahead and made Jigglypuff Singer, just because, Jigglypuffs are singing in the anime all of the time, so I thought it would work out. We have Dixie Chimpany. This is Dixie Kong, although I didn't want to reuse the Kong surname because I did add Donkey Kong to the party. I'm just going to move these out of the way here. Next up, we have Palutena Light. There's Donkey Kong himself over there. We have Toadette Mushroom on the bottom, along with Marth Altea. And once again, I don't think these are they're not their canon last names. I don't think they have canon last names. So bring Fox McCloud in as well. Samus Aran, because why not? Brock Pewter, just because I think Brock from Pokemon, he's a fun guy. So bring him on the Chaos. Captain Falcon over here will be joining us for our first hunt. And I'll talk about why he has 10 insanity in a moment. Also be bringing Monkey D. McCloud, who is our first child. I decided to use the love juice. I rolled randomly for the love juice, and I actually managed to pull Star Fox and Dixie Kong. It humored me because we pulled the two animal characters. So they had a child. Child has 2 understanding and various other things I will go over. Now, before this video continues on, as past me will be cleaning up the character board real quick, I have a moment to say that unfortunately I lost the original audio recording for this video. To be more accurate, I never even had an original audio recording for this video because my microphone wasn't turned on. So for this episode and this episode only, I'll be doing a post commentary of what happened. I couldn't think of any other solution because I had moved on ahead a little bit once I finished up here, so there wasn't really any going back to replay it. Also, I am rather satisfied with the turnout of this hunt. So, I hopefully have live commentary moving on into the future, but for the rest of Lantern Year 1, it will be more of me being reflective on what had occurred. I'll still continue to read the story events, though, as normal, when past me brings them up and all. So, I should mention that before you set up the hunt board and the terrain the showdown board and the terrain on for the showdown, you actually do perform the entire hunt first. I simply set it up ahead of time, trying to make this go by a little quicker. Over here, I am showing that with our resources, I decided to spend a bone, organ, and hide to innovate, and out of our 2 options, I believe they were drums and inner lantern. I chose inner lantern, so all of our characters can do surge now, I believe. For our new life principle, thanks to the birth of Monkey D. McCloud, I rolled randomly on the principal chart we do protect the young. So every time we have an intimacy, we roll twice and pick the desired result, which is really, really damn good, in all honesty. So, right now I'm showing off Monkey D. McCloud. Their stats are a result of the D10 that you roll afterwards. He gained the strategist fighting art. This one is, it's okay. It's not the best fighting art in the world. You get to add a free giant stone face or toppled pillar to the Showdown setup after all other terrain is placed. I think the giant stone face is pretty handy. The toppled pillar kind of gets in the way more than it would help. So with that, with the birth of our kid, we had 14 survivors, so we already get the society principle as well when you hit 15 survivors in the settlement. And once again, I rolled for the random chart to decide what society we would follow, and we accept the darkness around us. The settlement no longer fears the darkness, letting go. I didn't catch the rest of that, but I'm sure you guys did. This is why I don't look forward to the post commentary. Hopefully I can keep up with reading some story elements. If we ever suffer brain damage, though, or severe brain injuries, we get a +2 to all of those rolls, so we aren't as easily killed off through brain trauma. Here I'm showing off the gear I decided to make with the leftover resources. I picked up these 3 particular rawhide equipments because they give the rawhide vest +1 evasion when you fill in a blue and red, so they work well together. We also get the wonderful power of the rawhide headband when you fill in the blue. For those that don't know, you combine the colors on the edge as if they were puzzle pieces, and it's called an affinity when you complete one, and you get bonuses to your gear based on how many affinity you have. Affinity will come into play more later on as the game progresses. So I'm showing off the rest of the characters here. Link is kind of our damage dealer as he has natural strength and accuracy, I believe, but everyone else, Monkey and Zelda, are kind of a bit plain. And I decided to make Captain Falcon our tank with the armor, as well as leaving him without a weapon because I plan on using his AI card ability a lot, thanks to the rawhide headband. So I'm showing off my initial setup. Once again, normally you set up the board after you complete the hunt, because events during the hunt could force changes as to how the board gets set up. It's not really a big deal. I can always edit this after we do the hunt phase. So I'll probably continue doing my initial setup of the board and then appropriate changes afterwards. But when I'm going over here, I'm showing off that we got the lava pool. Kind of want to stay away from the lava pool. And we also drew the Lonely Tree DLC. Well, not DLC. Expansion pack. This thing is interesting. Alright, so the way the Lonely Tree works is you start the Showdown with the Star Nightmare Fruit miniatures next to it. That's the monster level. The monster gets this trait, the monster fruit trait. So at the start of the monster's turn, if he's within 5 spaces of a nightmare fruit, he will full move towards it, and if he becomes adjacent to the fruit, he will remove it from the board and heal a wound. If he's already healed to full, he'll gain a +1 damage token, which is pretty terrifying. So I figured I should keep the monster as far away from this nightmare fruit as possible. So the tree has to be within 4 spaces of all board edges. So I have it literally on the absolute corner of where it can be, and the nightmare fruit as far away from the line as possible. One quick thing for clarification. There's a typo. There's two typos on this card. I had to look up information because it confused me at first. But where it says the monster starts the showdown with Lonely Fruit. Well, the Lonely Fruit is a strange resource. What the monster actually starts with is the Nightmare Fruit trait, because that is the trait card. And the Nightmare Fruit, they don't really do anything unless you interact with them. But if you take a quick look at this card here, if you roll 1 through 5, the result really sucks. 6 damage and knockback 6. It's a scary thing. And then on the 6 to 9, all you do is like chuck it one space. This must be the heaviest fucking fruit in the world, or the survivors are the wimpiest bitches in the world. So I'm just like, eating it to get a survival is not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna get the nightmare fruit as far away as possible. The lonely fruit that is listed on the card should be replaced with the nightmare fruit, and then on the lonely tree card it says at the end of the hunt, if you are successful, or at the end of the showdown, if you are successful, you get a nightmare fruit added to your inventory. What you actually get is the lonely fruit strange resource added to your inventory. So if you're playing with your own lonely tree, remember to swap those two words between each other. Right here, I'm putting my fighting art strategist to the test by pulling out one of these two, and I'm just checking what they do. So the giant stone face, it's mostly just an obstacle, and the monsters can eliminate it if they run into it. But if you are standing on it and you have somebody manipulating where the monster is going to go, if they have a ranged weapon, they get 2 range and 2 accuracy while on top of it, which is pretty damn decent in all honesty. Especially since the stone face, it starts at least 5 spaces away from the board edge. You can climb on top of one of them on the first turn in most hunts. You can actually start on top of them in most hunts, as you are set up 6 spaces away from a monster. So you can get your ranged character a fair good bonus, and hopefully on the first turn of a fight, if your ranged character doesn't get attacked, they can continue to provide support from afar. I decided to go try out the ruined pillar. This was a mistake. All in all, I probably shouldn't have used my strategist ability. Past me is thinking right now, hey, I can use this pillar to try and help limit the lion's range of movement. But in all honesty, because of the placement rules, it has to be like 4 spaces away from where the lion starts. And because of the shape of it, it's really tricky to place. So I end up putting it up here because it's kind of out of the way. And I wanted to, I guess, further encourage myself to stay towards the right, the bottom right, stay away from the tree, stay away from the lava pool, which does really bad things to your heroes. And stay near the grass, because using the grass to dodge the lion's attack is a key component to a successful hunt. Terrain in this game really, really matters a lot. With the board set up though, we're ready to begin our hunt of the white lion. There once was a beast that wanted to know how soft its fur was. Since it could not reach its own back, it killed many other creatures and spent time rubbing its paws over them. They say that when the monster finally killed a human, it fell in love with their soft hair, and its paws grew into a pair of fine human hands. Alright, our white lion is a freaky, human loving to murder monster, and is our first quarry. While my character here is setting up the heroes onto the hunt board character, my past self is doing that. I will guess I'll mention the reason why our 4 heroes here have 10 insanity is due to the principle of the society. The D10 result gave 4 nominated survivors 10 insanity. And I figured, why not just have them all be the group going out on the hunt? So we're a party of insane humans, not really knowing what's going on. And Captain Falcon here is nominated as the first event revealer. I'm saying right here that I'll be doing it in their order left to right for revealing the hunt event cards. So, as soon as past me is ready to move on, because I don't remember what else they might be explaining at the moment. I really do wish that I had my original commentary. There are some really great moments that we're going to go through. Hopefully, I get a chance to relive them, and I hope they're still enjoyable. I feel like it's far more enjoyable to be doing this live, get to hear my original thought process, get to hear me trying to figure things out. It's definitely a different experience being reflective on it. Marked territory. The white lion has marked this area. If any survivor has 3+ understanding, they realize the area is covered in ammonia. If they have not innovated it yet, the survivor's settlement gains the ammonia innovation. Roll a random event. It would be really cool to flip this card over if you happen to have 3 understanding already. Unfortunately, Monkey is our highest understanding character, and they only have 2 at the moment. So we don't get free ammonia. And real quick, past me is just going to doubly verify that nobody has the understanding. So we roll a random event. Let's see what fate has in store for the hunting party today. We're in lion territory. There's a big pile of steaming shit somewhere. Survivors noticed it. Maybe stepped in it in the darkness. Once again, the white dice is the 10s. So we have a 79 result. And past me is staring at the wrong page. Dying small prospector. Slumped against a large stone face, the survivors find a small, dying prospector riddled with arrows. As they approach, he growls a warning, threatening them with a huge stone shard. When he sees that they are not evil monsters, he calms down and gives them a key. With his dying breath, he says, "This is the key to the portcullis. Without it, you will never get through. Record the portcullis key in the settlement record sheet notes." So, I have no idea what this key is used for. I have no idea how it works, when we get to use it, what it gets us. So I'm excited to find out someday in the future. Right now I'm just creating a new note card for settlement notes if we ever obtain more odds and ends like this thing, we'll have it jotted down somewhere. So our settlement gets a portcullis key. I assume if the hunt goes poorly and if everyone died, we would still have the portcullis key. Because the game says it goes straight to the record sheet. I'm surprised it doesn't say if you survive, then you get the portcullis key. But with that, we are going to be moving on. And before us lies a sea of golden grass. Fields of golden grass lay ahead. The event revealer may choose to avoid the plains and roll twice on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. Otherwise, each survivor gains 1 courage and the event revealer rolls on the table below. Of course, we aren't afraid of anything that could be hiding in the grass. We're gonna courageously travel through these golden grass, and I'm sure we're gonna stick our hands out and feel real nice brushing up against it. So we roll to see what's going on in this grass, and oh, well, wouldn't you know it, the lion is in the grass, and he's going to ambush us already. So what this means is the showdown starts immediately, and the white lion is going to have 2 turns to act before we get 1 turn to act. So already we are off to a fantastic start. We didn't really get any super beneficial events unless that portcullis key gives you some god tier item later or something. Alright, so beginning this showdown, my strategy for this fight and my strategy just overall is to stay near the grass. Grass gives you 2 evasion when you are in it. You can also spend an action to hide in it and not be counted as a threat if you need to do that. So overall, what my goal is, we want Captain Falcon to take as many hits as possible because he has +1 evasion along with the evasion in the grass, giving him +3 over everybody else. But I set us up like so. I could have moved that grass tile 1 more down, but I wanted them to be as close to each other as possible, which is 4 spaces away at least. And our lion's ambush attack is a claw. Since we are all 6 spaces away, he has to roll to decide who is the first victim of his claw attack. And he gets a 7. So the way I'm doing this, of course, from left to right order, 1 and 2 would be 1, 3 and 4 2, 5 and 6 3, 7 and 8 would be 4. So he's coming after Link, taking the most direct path to him. Alright, so Link here is staring down the lion. I am making plans, I believe. I'm actually not sure what past me was thinking at this point. But no matter what, Link is getting a hit here, so what do you say we roll some dice? Lion, as usual, lands his attacks with utter grace and ease. Manages to nail Link in the hand and the foot. Or the... yeah, I guess they call it the foot. It's kind of like the legs, though. I guess the waist would be the legs. So Link takes some light damage, but of course we are being ambushed. So the lion will get to go again. He actually draws another claw attack. So nothing too fancy. He targets Link once more, of course, and Link takes 2 more damage. It's too bad. I should have moved that grass down one to give Link a chance to dodge. Oh, you gotta look over to the left past me. There we go. So Link loses his waist protection, and he gets knocked down with heavy damage onto his hand. So, in all honesty, for being ambushed, that's not too bad. It's not the worst results in the world that could have occurred, but Link is damaged somewhat. So now it is the party's turn to react. And Captain Falcon, he will be our main man going first throughout this endeavor that we see ourselves facing. I will be using his Rawhide Headband here. Take a look at the top 2 AI cards and replace them in any order that I like. So we can see that the lion has Combo Claw coming up, which is actually not that bad of an attack, and it has 4 accuracy. So on Captain Falcon, who would be the chosen threat, Combo Claw would be hitting on 7s. We also have Grasp to choose from, but Grasp chooses the closest knockdown survivor in range, so that's not really an option unless I want Link to die horribly. So we put Combo Claw on top, and now I have to figure out where do we want to position Zelda and Monkey D. McCloud. I want to bring them in to support on the fight, but I definitely do not want them to be in the way after the tiger moves, and I do not want them to be too far out of range that they cannot help. The tiger is going to be moving up 1 space and then facing the right to Combo Claw Captain Falcon. I believe past me is also trying to strategize what exactly we want to do right now. It looks like I decided to move Monkey D. McCloud up 4 spaces. That's actually a mistake, because we know the lion will be facing on that row. Monkey should be 1 up and 1 to the left, I think. That would be the better location to have him, unless I use Monkey first to attack and get him out of the way. But even if I use Monkey first on the next turn, there's really no point in putting him where I did. So we draw the lion's Combo Claw. He chooses the closest threat in field of view. Actually, Captain Falcon is within the lion's range and facing. So I don't know what I'm rolling the dice here for. Yeah, I'm actually not sure what that roll was for. Lion just always went after Captain Falcon. And it will be performing a combo attack. Can Captain Falcon perfect block? I'm pointing out the evasion bonuses that we have at the moment. We do have a +3. So the lion hits on 7s. With our wonderfully high evasion score, I re-rolled one of the dice because I felt like it was cracked. But the lion missed regardless, and I find it funny that he actually rolls 2 1s. You couldn't at least try to hit me, lion? That's ridiculous that he gets 2 1s while we have like evasion up to 6. But I won't complain. Captain Falcon skillfully dodges in place, doing some self-placed shield rolls. So right now, I should be realizing if I do any damage to this lion, one of our guys is likely to be run down should we fail to wound. So we move Monkey D. McCloud first and foremost. And we're gonna slash at this lion, try and do some damage finally. And we do manage to land a 7. So that will be 1 hit with the Founding Stone. And a monkey manages to slash at the beast's temple. Have to find out if we can actually cause it any harm here. We do roll a 9. So pretty good start. Get to do a damage with no repercussions to us. And we get to eliminate that grab AI card for the knockdown survivor. Alright, with Monkey having a successful attack, I should probably manipulate the AI cards again with Captain Falcon before I move with Zelda, and I do in fact do that. We actually happen to draw upon a mood card for this lion. He has the bloodthirsty mood. This isn't the worst mood in the world. Every time a survivor is wounded for any reason, you add a token onto it, and you cash all, after it hits 3, you cash them in, and then the lion will do an extra attack. But I don't want the lion to draw his mood if possible. So I decide to put the Vicious Claw on top, because our man Captain Falcon should be tanking it. Tanking the hit. And there, I'm just double checking to make sure that is what I want to do. Now, I think I'm going to... Do I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to attack with Zelda regardless. But what I should do is just pass the turn, because I don't want the lion to get the mood card activated on him. I really would not want that. But I do attack with Zelda. She manages to land 2 hits. One is a failure roll, and the second is a reflex that will happen no matter what. So Captain Falcon here is going to be grabbed, unfortunately. But we'll roll for the failure first in case I manage to land the wound, which I think I do there. No, I do not. Unfortunately, we fail to cause a wound. The white lion is at 8 toughness, and our Founding Stone makes that 6 a 7. So both cards go away. Captain Falcon flies across the field as the lion grabs onto him and carries him off. He gets knocked down, and he takes 1 damage due to the grab. He'll take 1 damage to the body location. So armor coming in handy for him. I really should not have attacked with Zelda there though. Lion's turn comes up. He gets the Vicious Claw attack, and he chooses a random survivor in range. That includes knockdown survivors, I believe, because it doesn't say a random threat. So everyone's on the table to be smacked up a little bit. And once again, roll the dice in order to find out who's getting hit, I was just saying there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we do get a 7. So that will be Zelda, who is getting attacked. So this damn cat's gonna go all the way back to where he started, nearly. And he's going to try and mess up our fair lady here. Getting 2 attacks off. With his usual attack profile of 2 up the hit, 1 damage. So we're probably suffering some wounds here. Especially if the lion is rolling crits. So I counted those as hits. And Zelda will be taking a little bit of damage at the moment. Although, hopefully it won't be too bad. Unfortunately, Zelda gets nailed in her head and her foot. The head's really bad because it's going to knock her down. She also gets a bleed token for taking damage on this attack. So Zelda gets knocked down, foot gets lightly injured. And she's still okay. I think she'll be okay. Maybe. I don't know. Having a head injury is always terrifying. Always terrifying. It is our turn once again, though. Link gets back up. And Captain Falcon gets back up because he was knocked down during our turn. So, after the monster goes, we get to retaliate. Captain Falcon will go first. And once again, I have an opportunity to manipulate that mood away. And we also have a choice between Maul, which if I allow this lion to use his maul, he's going to go after Zelda again. And cause another bleed and the bash effect. I actually forget what bash does off the top of my head at the moment, so next time it comes up, I will have to reference how bash operates. So I'm at a pretty critical juncture because I don't really want to deal with bash. I don't really want to deal with the mood either. I opted to put the mood on top of the deck. I think I'm going to throw my founding stone here. Just so I can eliminate the mood card undeniably. And then I'll never have to worry about it again. So I am going to do that. The lion getting an extra attack is pretty damn bad. So we're going to critically hit, for free, the strange hand of the lion. This right here is a beautiful beginning. We're going to revel in our removal of his hand to treasure the moment. But this right here is the beginning of a lucky happenstance that I am going to abuse later on in this fight. Right there, we get rid of the mood card that was on top. And now I really want Link to do 1 more damage at least to mill that maul card. But it seems like I prioritized the mood over the maul as the threatening card. So Link manages to score 1 blow. Unfortunately, he only hits the mane of the lion. So we're going to roll off here, try to get a crit. At the very least, we can get a free resource. But we can't do any damage here. And nothing special. We just get deflected off of the glorious mane of the white lion. And unfortunately for me, I believe Zelda is about to get batted a lot more. Although she does have a survival that she can spend to try and protect herself. Alright. Back around to the lion. He's ready to maul somebody. Somebody named Zelda. and do a ridiculous amount of damage. In hindsight, maybe I should just let him activate his mood card. Because I think when they use the mood card, they technically count as losing 1 HP. Luckily for me, though, he rolls a 1. I should say luckily for Zelda. And he only hits her body. However, he is doing a ton of damage to the point I would have to make a roll on the severe injury chart. So I decide to dodge. And Zelda is actually A-okay. No harm done. She probably used her Farore's Wind magic to teleport out of the way at the last second. It looks like I'm going to... Oh, I know what I'm doing here. I just wanted to make sure you can spend survival when you are knocked down. So that's what I'm going to be looking into at the moment. It's on the right side of the page there at the bottom right. After reading through the rules, I do determine that you can spend your survival, so all is well, and it is the survivor's turn to react. Now, I need Zelda to get out of the way, so I just go ahead and move her first. Although I should move her second, yes, I do decide to change my mind on that. We want to use Captain Falcon first. We want to keep using his power. I think a lot of the success to this first fight came through the manipulation of these AI cards. So we get some insight into what the cat is thinking. However, a rawhide headband does that for you, and we see he wants to power swat somebody, which isn't too bad overall since it's only 1 attack, but it does do 2 damage. And then he has a terrifying roar that the lion is thinking about unleashing, which will hit all survivors, and it also causes knockback 6. So here I'm facing a dilemma, because somebody's going to be pushed very far out of the range of this lion if we do not dodge. I believe I should be putting the roar on top in the hopes that I will cause a wound and remove the card. I might put the power swat on top. I don't think I'm just going to pass the turn. That would be a little weird. I'm taking a look at the knockback rules now just to verify what it does. Knockback only pushes you away. It doesn't actually knock you down unless the card says it does. Or if you collide into an obstacle or another survivor, another monster, something like that. So, we have a decision to make. I actually put the roar... Yeah, I do put the roar on top. And I believe my goal is going to be milling it with some damage to this line. So we get Zelda out of the way of the front, as that is the direction this lion likes to go when it is wounded. So I'm just going to clean up the board a little bit, and we'll find out how Zelda performs. She gets a crack over there, and the dice were stuck together, so I think I just decided to re-roll them both better this time. Managed to score 2 8s, so we get 2 hits. Zelda strikes the beast's femur, and she also strikes the beast's heel. These are really good locations to hit. It seems like the lion, if you strike at his legs, his hind legs, he doesn't react to that. So we have 2 safe places to wound. I just have to decide which critical wound I would like to roll for first. So I order the cards. We're going for the left side first and foremost. And we only roll a 3. So now we roll for the femur. And Zelda scores a beautiful 9. Not quite a critical wound, so we don't get a cool effect in it. I don't know why I was checking the Founding Stone for damage there. She doesn't have any luck, so we just do 1 damage. Our cards seem to get stuck in space for a quick minute. Alright, so Zelda did good. We get a card out of there. The roar is gone, which is what I wanted. Link is going to join in the assault. He's going to roll a 6, which is a hit at the back of the beast in the blind spot. I think I'm just double checking that for some reason. I hope as time goes on, I do start to commit some of this information to my memory. Luckily for us, Link strikes the beast's knee, so Zelda and Link tag teaming the hind legs of this lion, getting some good hit locations all together, and he causes a wound. Also not a critical wound. Not sure what I'm looking at there. Just a simple wound. That puts both of the knockback cards away. We don't know what's going to happen anymore, but we're causing some damage. We're doing pretty good. So I just decided to bring Monkey D. McCloud into the fray. We're going to try and get some hits with him right after I lock all this damn terrain so that it doesn't move. Should have did that to begin with. So Monkey's using Fist and Tooth as his weapon now. And he does roll 1-8, which will be a hit. I just verify real quick what his unarmed combat rolls are. And he does have a strength thanks to destroying the strange hand of the lion. So he hits on 7s. I should have drawn... We got a critical wound there. I rolled first without looking at the hit location, but we get a crit onto the beast's scapular deltoid, so we're really fucking up the legs of this thing. I think the deltoid is a leg bone, or the scapular. I don't actually recall off the top of my head which bone that is. It should be one of the legs, I think. Could be like the four legs. But we get a critical wound. The lion... Oh, it is his shoulder, deltoid. Okay, so we're aiming at his shoulder there. Thank you, card. Thank you for clarifying. He loses 1 movement. I was completely wrong about where that leg was. And now here begins a funny mistake that I don't realize, past me didn't realize until later. The lion has lost his hand. We severed it with our first critical hit on him. So I'm going to roll to choose who he attacks here. This is fine. I should determine where he is facing. Regardless, it was a 50-50 between Captain Falcon and Monkey. I believe the 7, the odd would be Monkey. And then I rolled for getting hit. Because I still don't realize quite yet that this damage isn't going to happen. So, yeah, it was Monkey here. I'm going to mark his body as damaged. We're going to fix this in just a minute. In just a minute. We're going to see the realization hit me. Right about here. We're going to witness. I can feel it now. Thinking back on it. But I can feel the realization hitting my head as I'm looking at this card thinking something is wrong here. And then I look at the strange hand and I'm like, oh, the lion is actually not attacking us. He is only staring at his bloody stump. We are not getting damaged, but all four of our characters here are going to gain one knowledge instead. Which is amazing. It's so powerful to have all of our guys get knowledge. So we will get understanding on everyone, and for Monkey, this gives him insight. We'll tackle that in just a moment. He does gain the insight immediately. While we're staring at the right side here, I do realize that the speed for the monster is listed as -2. The speed would be how many attacks the monster does. It shouldn't be listed as -2. I didn't even notice that it was listed as -2. I don't notice for a while, at the very least. We'll fix that later. I wasn't applying the -2. As you guys have witnessed, we rolled all the dice for his attacks as normal. So what we're going to do right here, what I am discussing is that I have an opportunity to unlock the white secret for all of my characters. I'll go into details about that when we do it, because I do have a dilemma. I would actually like input from you guys regarding it. But first and foremost, in a single moment, the curtain of the world pulls back for Monkey. Select the Epiphany corresponding to the current game phase. A survivor may only gain these benefits once in a lifetime. Well, we're in the Showdown phase, so watching the chaotic movements of monsters, you perceive a pattern. Perhaps its motives are not so different from your own. You can imagine yourself in the monster's place. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. So, Monkey gains the Analyze ability. If he is next to the monster, you can reveal the top AI card and place it back on the deck. Analyze is a strictly worse Rawhide headband, as the Rawhide headband is limitless range, and you can reorder 2 cards as opposed to just knowing what's going to happen. I suppose the good thing about Analyze, I don't think it costs an action to use. You can simply look at the next card that the monster is going to do without spending an action. So that is nice. Alright, we rolled our result here. We got a 3, and that means we will ignore the next severe injury we suffer during this showdown only. So right now I'm going to decide what token to use, and just take a wound token, and I'm going to make it really big. Simply to represent that the next severe injury that Monkey takes, he may ignore the roll and pass automatically, I guess. So that's cool for him. We're gonna... Right, it's our turn to go now, because the lion was staring at his bloody stump. So we'll get Monkey out of the way. Captain Falcon is our tank, so I'd rather have Captain Falcon take any damage. Here I'm checking the Analyze rule. What I should have done is actually use it. At the time, I didn't realize you could use Analyze without spending your action, so I decided to just have Captain Falcon move first so I can manipulate the cards. I could have just looked at what the next card was coming up, since we were next to the monster. Analyze is actually a really decent ability, now that I think about it. because having the knowledge of what the monster will do next is super good, and you get to check it for free. That's not too bad at all. So we have to choose between the lion trying to maul somebody and claw at somebody. Maul clearly being the worst of the two cards. I think I put it on top there in hopes that I will take it out with a wound. So we get Captain Falcon moved out of the way. Now I'm trying to put him in a position where if we don't mess up the lion will not be standing on the tall grass. So I decided to move him far away, which is just as well, because if we do miss the lion and cause him to move forward, it won't be an issue getting back to him and letting Captain Falcon take the hits regardless. So then we move Monkey first or next to get him out of the way. Unfortunately, his swipes hit empty air as the lion nimbly dodges his assault. So then we get Link and Zelda. Decide to move Link first as he has the better chance of doing damage. And he can get to the lion's back. I was just seeing if they could walk around each other, which they can with the 5 movement. So Link gets his turn to strike, and he does a much nicer job, getting 9 and an 8. I don't know if I was confused about that being a 6 or what. In fact, not sure why past me is staring at the dice for so long, but Link manages to strike the beast's maw, and he gets to strike the beast's chest. No matter which one of these I do first, if I fail to wound, we're going to lose our next attack. I think I opt to do the beast maw first and put Link in jeopardy as opposed to letting the lion just charge forward out of the way. In hindsight, I think I should have aimed for his chest first, not his maw. But I was feeling hopeful, though. I don't think I caused a wound here. Pardon me, need to blow my nose real quick. Alright. Oh, I actually did cause a wound. And I did order the cards the way I wanted to, so my memory must be a little fuzzy. Good job, Link! Alright, so we managed to wound the beast's, what was that, his chest? Yeah, we managed to wound his chest. See, during this part, during the live, I think I was I got a little confused about one thing. I was mostly lost in my own mind here, so roll the dice for the next attack. And we get a 1, unfortunately. So Link is going to be roared at, screamed. The lion turns around to face him. Well, he doesn't turn around. But he knocks Link down on his ass and does a 1 brain damage per monster level to him. Not too big of a deal since it's only knockdown and a brain damage. We have plenty of insanity to spare. This also is happening on our attack step, so Link will be ready to go on the next turn. Zelda, I bring around as originally planned. And we're going to have her, as soon as I find her dice, have her strike the lion as well. And Zelda manages to get 1 critical hit. She happens to hit the beast's brow. If we do cause a wound, it will strike back at her, though. So, let's see what happens. I guess Zelda got scared and decided to withhold striking at the lion's brow. She didn't want to be swatted in return. So that's all well and good. It is the lion's turn to go. And he is going to be doing a basic claw attack. Closest threat facing in range is going to be Captain Falcon. Unfortunately, he's not in any grass, but Captain Falcon, he's Captain motherfucking Falcon. He can handle some attacks out in the open. He doesn't need to hide anywhere. So, Lion gets a basic claw attack. 2 dice. Let's see how it does striking the captain. It does a damn good job. Gets 2 hits. I guess I thought that was a crack for some reason. It definitely gets 2 hits, though. The lion earned it. And manages to strike Captain Falcon's body and his hand. I was just double checking the damage there. So, not too big of a deal. We get to use up the armor and go to lightly damaged. Here, I was debating using one of his survivals real quick, just to keep his body fully healthy. I figured there wasn't really a point to it, though. One thing I'm noticing about this fight, I used 1 survival for a critical dodge on Zelda. I need to be a little bit better about using the survival up. Especially now, in the current game, we're starting to get a fair number of survival for our limit, so I want to make sure I'm spending it and not losing out on survival due to being capped. Alright. Strategy time, as the survivors need to figure out how they want to approach this lion. Right now, Captain Falcon is going to utilize his ability again. I do draw the Vicious Claw, which means we can gain another understanding thanks to the lion's bloody stump hand. So, I think what I decide to do here, because Vicious Claw is random, there's no guarantee that I will be able to have him attack where all the survivors will be standing next to him, but I figure it's worth a shot to do this. So what I'm going to do is move Captain Falcon over, 5 spaces to the left, bring him back to the team. I'm really hoping the lion doesn't choose Captain Falcon, so it's not standing in the tall grass there. What we want it to do is go after Link, Zelda, or Monkey. Now that right there is a mistake. I shouldn't put Link there. He should be 1 more to the left so that if he's chosen, the lion won't be standing in the grass zone at all. It gives me more grass to play with. But I think this is what I settled with, just to split us up a bit. And then everyone passes their turn observing the lion, knowing that he has an urge to look at his bloody hands. So we do our random choice. He gets a 3, which is Monkey. So I get really lucky here. And he does do a full move to face Monkey. And then he'll look at his bloody stump hand. Everybody will gain an understanding as we better... I don't know how this works lore-wise. So you're telling me, are we feeling empathetic for the lion because he's looking at his bloody hand and feeling bad about it? So we just understand the lion better? It seems a little weird to me, but whatever. We'll abuse game mechanics to our advantage. Alright, so that's the lion's turn, and just like that, it's our go again. So, as usual, Captain Falcon is first and foremost because he will be manipulating the AI deck. Now, right here, I need to talk to you guys about what I just did. because as far as I understand from the rules, and I couldn't find any clarification online, although maybe I should look again. When you reveal the top 2 cards, if there are no cards left in the AI deck, the rules say to immediately shuffle the discard pile into the AI deck. However, I can see from the game's perspective, I can see the ruling where when it comes to scrying, you only look at the top available cards currently in the deck. So if you scryed 2 and there's only 1 card in the deck, you'll only look at the 1 card and put it back in any order. But following the rules of this game, when it comes to the wound stack, I can see it from the perspective where there's no more cards left. Just make the new deck and look at the next top card, so long as you're following the rules. I would like some other people's input on how you guys handle that situation when it comes to scrying the monster's AI deck. Link here manages to get 2 successful blows onto the lion, striking at the ear, which if we fail to, the lion will jump forward 1 space away, which isn't too bad if he does that. Better than the beast paw, so I believe I roll for the ear first. Yeah, we should be rolling for the ear. As soon as Past Me figures out what he wants to do... Oh, right. I'm checking to see how wounded Link is, because I feel like it could be really bad for Link if he does get hit. So we roll for the ear. We do fail to wound the ear. The lion's going to jump away from Link 1 space as we just barely whiff his head. And we will not be able to land the next attack, so these cards go back. And Link's turn ends. I think it is going to be the lion's turn, since I decided to back off Monkey and Zelda during this turn. So the lion does get to make a claw attack. Monkey is out of the lion's range, thankfully, because the range starts in front of him, so the closest person to him is Captain Falcon, as he is only 1 space away. So Captain Falcon gets to finally put to the test his high evasion on the lion's, pretty much its basic attack here. So the lion needs 5s in order to hit Captain Falcon. And it actually rolls 2 3s. So Captain Falcon skillfully perfect blocks the lion's claw attacks. He's doing a real good job for me. I'm very happy with how Captain Falcon turned out in this fight. So once again, going to do Captain Falcon first. I'm going to manipulate the AI cards. Now, right here, I didn't realize this at the time, but Vicious Claw and the Combo Claw both have the Strange Hand effect. If the lion lost its hand, the lion doesn't attack. It instead looks at its hand and gives you understanding. So I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, I need to verify the rules a little bit. In fact, while we are going through this attack step here, I do want to reference on the side, if I was playing that correctly, because I'm starting to think that the severe injury... Alright, how do I word this? I'm debating in my head if the game developers intend for the attack to still happen as normal, but it happens with the severe injury benefit, or if the attack doesn't happen at all and only the severe injury effect occurs. I'm actually not sure. I might have to look into this later. Good job, Zelda. Very nice wound on her part. Currently, I think when you have the severe injury... There's a glossary here. When the monster has its severe injury, I think the attack doesn't occur as normal, and instead you replace it with the severe injury effect. I'm being pretty reflective about this now. Let's focus on the fight that we have in front of us. Currently at the moment, Monkey D. McCloud. I'm deciding where to put him. I kind of want to keep him away from the lion because I feel like he's in danger. If he takes any damage, he would be in danger of being severely harmed. So I was thinking about having him up near the toppled pillar, but I realized it's not very advantageous, so I just move him down. So he's still kind of near the fight and involved with what's going on, but he's more or less out of the way. The lion, though, has its combo claw effect. Alright. If I hover over the card again... Okay, I'm going to pause for a quick moment. I'm thinking that I played this very wrong, and that the attack still occurs, but you get the benefit of the severe injury. That's what I'm starting to think is happening here. And I would love to verify if that is the case. I'm going to look into it right now. Let's see here. I'm looking for a monster severe injury. Unfortunately, this website doesn't have that listed down. Okay. All of the severe injury information that I am looking up at the moment. seems to deal with the heroes and not the monster that is in question. I see Captain Falcon has achieved his insight. He actually gains 1 movement for the role, which I found to be extremely appropriate for his character because he's really, really fast in Smash Brothers. So Captain Falcon gaining 1 speed. Here, I'm going to actually... Alright, you know what? I can put my fears to a side because I just looked up the rule. Thanks to some fancy video editing, I had the power to do that. And the severe injury does completely replace the attack on the card. And this rule is in the rule book. In the first story portion, it states as such. So, I can put my fears aside regarding that. And we can resume with what is going on in the game here. I believe Link completely whiffed the butt of the lion. And everyone else is going to pass up on their turn. Right here, I'm just double checking the card that we had revealed already, which one was next. Alright, so I'm not passing my turn. I just need to make sure what was going to occur. We're going to bring in Monkey, who does score 1 hit with their tooth and fist. He manages to punch the beast's ribs, hopefully hard enough to cause a wound. This is actually one of the rare positive effects if you cause a wound. They still title it as a reaction. I guess it's the survivor's reaction to something happening. It makes sense. It's not the monster's reaction, though. Unfortunately, Monkey doesn't quite punch hard enough to break a rib or 2 on the lion, so no damage dealt there. I think I was mostly wondering now, because Monkey can probably take a hit, right? Zelda, on the other hand, her head is injured. Other than that, she's mostly good to go. Her foot's injured too, of course. I might want to keep her away. Also, looking at the lion hit location deck, we're down to the last... What was that? Is that 6 cards when I hovered over it? We're down to the last few cards. The White Lion's trap is going to be drawn pretty soon here. So I need to make sure whoever falls for the trap isn't harmed. Hopefully. So we let the lion go. He does target Monkey. He does score 2 hits. Finally, I realized that the speed was modified for no reason in particular. So I fixed the number up, although that's not a huge deal. I think I was looking around like, why is the lion's speed at -2? Oh, you finally know an hour and 18 minutes later. Anyway, lion scores 2 hits. He will nail Monkey's waist and his hand. So, not too bad armor covering for us. Monkey's still pretty healthy overall. For this game, at the very least. Zelda, I do keep away from the lion. I just moved her straight away. I don't know why. I should have looked at the AI cards first to see if I can get one of the hand options on top and give everybody knowledge. I guess it was for safety reasons. More so than really thinking clearly and utilizing my moves to the best of our abilities. also decide to move Monkey to the back of the line first. 2 swings from him, though, and we have no such luck in hitting. Link is going to have a go at it. And remember that trap card is in the deck, very likely to be drawn. We do score only 1 hit, which is kind of good at this point. Still dodging the trap card. Manages to land a blow on the beast's flank. But apparently cats really hate when you get on their flank. So if we do cause a wound here, he's going to react. And we do cause a wound here. So the poor kitty is very upset. And Link is going to get the priority target token placed onto him. This is not ideal. Link is somewhat damaged, especially from the beginning of the game. So right now I need to decide with Captain Falcon, do I want to actually have him attack, participate in the battle, and maybe take the trap and get it out of the hit location deck, or do I manipulate the AI? I do seem to be manipulating the AI, and right now I actually put these yeah, I'm thinking about it. If you recall from earlier, this is where I need some input, because I have a rare situation where every single turn I can manipulate the combo claw to be on top. And now that I've verified the severe injury does replace the attack in full, I know I didn't do this wrong. Every single turn, I can make the lion give us 1 knowledge. Thanks to the rawhide headband. So my question for anyone who is stuck through the video up to this point: what do you think, or how do you interpret the rules regarding scrying effects? If, looks like Link has achieved his insight, so he gains Analyze just like the other 2. We'll cover Link's insight roll first. He scores an 8 on the chart, and an 8 grants him 1 permanent accuracy. So that's pretty cool for him to have. Over on the left past me. Alright, there you go. That's actually a really neat stat update. Getting back on track though. For the rawhide headband, when you reveal the top 2 AI cards, and there's no more AI cards in the deck after you draw the first one, do you immediately replace the discard pile into a new deck? Now, my friends and I both interpret it as you do, because the rules state when you're dealing wounds, if the AI deck is ever empty, you have to immediately replace the discard pile into a new AI card deck. I can also see it though that because we're not causing wounds, we're doing a different effect to look at the cards that are available, that you don't immediately replace the deck. I can see it from both perspectives working. So I'm really curious as to what you guys think right here. In the video now, I'm going to be looking up I'm trying to see the rulings for when the monster AI deck runs out. And yeah, I'm reading Monster AI deck. It doesn't say in the glossary how this works exactly. Looking through the list here. If you want to skip ahead in the video, feel welcome to do that, because Past Me is going to spend a fair minute or two looking through the rules, because back then when I was doing it live, I came into this very quandary. This is a rare situation that occurs. Now, I think it is intentionally designed to work this way if you happen to get it. So what circumstances need to happen? Well, for the white lion, obviously, you need to critically wound his hand, which I just so happen to do. When you do the prologue fight, the strange hand hit location is told to be placed on the top of the deck. If you remember from my prologue fight, it is always the first hit location during that. So I feel like the game developers intentionally placed that there so you could fling a founding stone, guaranteed remove the hand of the lion. It's a really powerful thing to do in the prologue, because the prologue lion, his attack AI deck is predetermined, but he also has one attack where the strange hand, he'll look at it and he'll be like, oh no, my hand is bloody and bleeding. If you are capable of not milling that AI card, of course, you can abuse gaining knowledge on all of your characters if it is the last AI card in the deck. So this is the reason why I'm really curious if when you scry with the rawhide headband or any other future scrying items, when you empty the deck, do you refill it immediately? I think you do, and I'll point out why when Past Me comes across the dialogue. Still searching for the information that we seek. I really wish the one small gripe, and I don't mean the gripe because this is a beautiful tabletop mod, but the one small gripe, couldn't you have included the full rule book, maybe a link to it online or something for referencing? So right here is the line that I found. When a hit location is wounded, remove the top card of the AI deck without looking at it. Place it in the wound stack space on the monster control panel. If the AI deck is empty, but there are AI cards in the discard pile, shuffle the discard to create a fresh AI deck and remove the top card. Now that's for wounding specifically, but this is the only line that I have found that relates to scrying as well. So my ruling for this playthrough, I think it works. If the deck is ever empty, and this will apply for the hit location deck too, if I ever get scrying for hit locations. If the deck is empty, I'm going to reshuffle it and then continue looking at the top card. The only time I won't is if I cannot. So here I flip the lion upside down because I am in the somewhat rare opportunity to abuse him. Pretty much every single turn, I'm going to manipulate his AI cards, pass on attacking. The lion will stare at his bloody stump, and all our survivors are just going to be like, man, I can feel your pain, lion. I truly, truly, truly understand your pain and shit. So Zelda right now, she's making a roll for her insight wisdom, and she rolled a 1, which I recalled. She gains the dodge 1 severe injury roll for this showdown only. And she also gets the analyze ability because we are in the showdown phase. So all four of us have analyze now. And I'm going to, one turn at a time, not get ahead of myself because I want to make sure I do everything right. Just showing that I'm manipulating the cards. I would put Combo Claw back on top. And then the lion would look at his bloody stump paw. And we will rinse and repeat the process of gaining understanding. If you can abuse anything in this game, especially since the game's rules strictly state that it's always in the favor of the monster when there's some sort of conflict, I would abuse it absolutely. Every single advantage matters. So that's what I'm doing right here. And I'm going to find out what the white secret is. Because before this point, Alright. We've never really seen the white secret until the day before I recorded this. Because I've been playing a campaign with my friends. And believe it or not, this exact same situation came up in our campaign. However, it was even better because when my friend critted the Lion's Strange Hand, he did it naturally, completely off of the dice roll. We didn't fling a Founding Stone. Here, I just happened to hit the Strange Hand with my Founding Stone. And the AI deck happened to have 2 cards that have the Strange Hand rule. So, right now, I get to benefit from it. And we're going to learn what this white secret is all about. A dream, buried deep in memory, suddenly surfaces. You feel her hot breath bathing your ear. Hissing whispers. She had come to you bearing the secrets of the world, and you had merely forgotten until now. Your brain swells and you scream out in pain, suffer the lunacy brain trauma, and remember the story. So remembering the story is rolling on that chart, but before we do that, we're going to find out what lunacy brain trauma is. You gain a random disorder and 1d5 insanity. So we're going to be doing this for all of our characters here. And Monkey is first in line to hit the white secret. So he rolls an 8. And right here, we're going to go through a somewhat embarrassing moment for me. So I was trying to process in my head. I was trying to explain and then process in my head. Okay, we're rolling a d5 on a d10. So it's every result is just halved, right? So 1 and 2 would be 1. 3 and 4 would be 2. 5 and 6, 3, 7, 8, 4, 9 and 10, 5, right? For some reason, probably because I was so busy trying to rational how the leather headband works with 2 AI cards left in the deck, I was like setting up the dice as a visual representation. This was purely for me to figure out how much insanity I just gained by an 8. And the answer is 4. We got 4 insanity. I finally figured it out, but that's like, oh my god, it took me nearly a damn minute. Anyway, me not knowing how to do basic math aside, we'll flip a disorder, and we get the immortal disorder. You are immortal. You will live forever and cannot be killed. Okay, so that's not true. That's just flavor text. While you are insane, you convert all damage dealt to your hit locations to brain damage. You are so busy reveling in your own glory, you can no longer spend survival. I think that said while insane. Yeah, if you're insane, you cannot spend survival. You're not actually immortal with this card our character, Monkey D. McCloud, only thinks he is immortal. This is a really good card, though, for insane characters. Because all of a sudden, Monkey D. McCloud has 14 armor at all times, unless he loses his insanity for some reason. Having low insanity with this disorder is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying, because your brain will always be in jeopardy, but right now it's a really powerful thing. Because the white lion's not going to cure our disorder, or he's not going to cure our insanity. So we have 14 armor to now tank the white lion with using Monkey. I don't know why I'm shuffling the deck again there. So I'll make a quick note. This is going to be a little long, because I'm going to be updating the notes for every character's profile page. We're going to be doing the white secrets for our 4 characters here. Also, I decided to pull out the cards and then copy them so that I have their reference available for me. I don't have to constantly look up their rules or forget. I should have did that from the beginning, so I'm just going to pull it out here, make a copy of it, which is the smart thing to do. Put one back into the deck, as you should, and place it right where it belongs on that chart on the bottom. I have recently learned something that makes this mod even cooler. I'll go over it in a moment. We're going to cover the white secret roll first, because we're about to roll for remembering the story of what this mysterious woman told us in the past, apparently. And we roll a 7. On a 7, if you have the barbaric settlement conviction principle, then you remember the story of the invisible hair instead. However, we do not, so what we remember is the story of the survivor. And once past me scrolls over to that, I'll happily read it off. I was just double checking my principles. I don't know where the barbaric shows up. It's probably for the 4th principle that you can obtain. But in either case, you remember the story of a smart young girl that, despite all odds, constantly outwitted the superior being she encountered. You also recall that her own vanity led to her death. Gain the quixotic, I'm not sure how to pronounce that disorder, and gain the peerless ability. When you gain insanity, you may gain an equal amount of survival. Peerless seems really good. Peerless is actually pretty damn cool. So what I'm doing here now, I'm going to be updating the notes section. In the future, I won't be updating the notes section, because the cool thing I found out about this tabletop game, you can drag those cards that I have on the bottom and insert them into the individual character sheet that I'm hovering over at the moment. It's a really easy way to keep track of, what's wrong with the character or what cool stuff they know. So I'll be doing that from the future onward, but at the moment I didn't know you could do that, so it'll be a little slow going from here on out while we manipulate all these white secrets. So the quixotic disorder, you carry the weight of your settlement on your shoulders. Everyone is counting on you to save them, and you will rise to the challenge. If you are insane when you depart, you gain 1 survival and a +1 strength token. So quixotic is really cool. It's pretty nice if you're insane. Get a free +1 strength token every time you head out. It's not a bad disorder at all. It's actually a really good one. So cool stuff for Monkey to have, and hopefully cool stuff for the rest of our characters to have. I'm sure here I'm just double checking or re-rationalizing what it is I'm about to do, because getting all 4 of our characters to the White Secret is a very rare treat. I don't know if there are any other situations that you can manipulate in the game. Probably there is. If there are any other AI cards that get changed by a severe injury and that give you a bonus stat, if you can manipulate the deck so you don't remove it while wounding the monster, you can abuse whatever benefit they provide. So we rolled 1 insanity for Captain Falcon. He still needs to draw a disorder, and now I'm rolling for his White Secret. He rolls a 5, which is right in the middle for his White Secret, so he's also going to be quixotic. His random disorder is overprotective. Captain Falcon loves the feeling of being needed. When an adjacent survivor is knocked down, he is also knocked down as he rushes to their aid. So good guy Captain Falcon, he gets a pretty bad disorder, and I'm probably going to make sure he's a loner at all times. Now, it's not a good idea for him to be next to somebody if there's a threat of knockdown. And just like Monkey before him, Captain Falcon will gain Quixotic, and he will gain the Peerless ability. Once again, I'll be updating it here on the notes. In the future, I will only be using the notes for things that I cannot easily track. So putting Peerless down on the notes, that I'll leave that there. But putting the disorders on the note is completely unnecessary, as I'll have the reference cards right below for that very purpose. So we'll just, twiddle our thumbs here while past me is updating information. Oh, I know, watching this video back, I know it's not the easiest to see the text on the colored character sheets. When I'm in the game, it's easier to see the sheets. I believe you can also change the color of the text. You could make it black instead of like the gray color that it kind of has for the notes, but it's not a big deal to me. I can keep track of it and just read it off. So Link is the next one to get some insanity and a random disorder for getting the White Secret. Link becomes indecisive, where he gains the indecision disorder. Past decisions haunt him ceaselessly. He is crippled by indecision, and even the most trivial choices grip you with terror. If Link is the event revealer of hunt events that call on him to make a roll, he rolls twice and uses the lower result. That honestly could be pretty bad. We'll see how that affects things in the future. I already rolled the dice for Link. I guess I forgot what I rolled. I think we rolled a 6 the first time though, so we get a 5, which should be 3 insanity that he gains. So we rolled the same result. I didn't need to do that though. And now we're going to roll for the White Secret. And he manages to land a 5 as well. So Link is going to join the Quixotic Peerless group, as we have 3 people with these things going in this party. So real quick, this is becoming our insane wonder squad. Everybody in this team, when they gain insanity, they'll be getting survival, so I need to make sure I actually use my survival a lot more often, because I'll be getting it more often with this group. I think it's pretty cool that they are getting pumped up this strong. like I said earlier, I hadn't used the White Secret until actually my recent play session. And it was thanks to this fairy manipulation. We found it there. I happened to do it here in this live game, which I think was pretty cool. Mostly to point it out. And once again, if anybody has input about scrying cards when you empty the deck, do you reshuffle it or do you just scry the last remaining cards? I would be interested to hear other people's thoughts. I can see both perspectives being correct, but I do feel I was following the rules correctly based on how they're written there. The AI deck should always be reshuffled when it's empty. So Zelda here gets stark raving. She's pushed far beyond her breaking point, so she feels free. Stark raving, it's not too bad, not too debilitating, in my opinion. And let's see if Zelda wants to join the rest of our crew in the Peerless Quixotic gang. She doesn't. Rolling a 9. Zelda hears a different story than everybody else. She remembered the story of the invisible hair. Zelda remembers the story of a woman with long hair so fine it couldn't even be seen. She claimed she could feel anything her hair touched. On her deathbed, she cut it all off and gifted a single strand to any who visited her. What was left over was scattered and hangs floating in the wind, waiting to be grasped by those who learn this story. Gain the Leyline Walker ability. While there is no armor or accessory gear in your gear grid, you gain +3 evasion. So, Zelda is a Leyline Walker now. Just pretty interesting ability. If you want to forego all of your armor, you can gain 3 evasion. With one of the starting buildings, if you happen to get a lot of organs from monster farming, you can craft monster grease, which also increases your evasion by 1, and you can hold multiple copies of it. So you could have a really dodgy character. If for any reason you max out your dodge, I believe the highest you can make it is up to 10, because a roll of 10 will always hit. I think that's how it works. I don't think you can have like a above 10 and then never be hit character. I'm pretty sure 10 will always hit you. That is why it's called a critical hit. But having a high evasion characters would be an interesting strategy to see done. I just don't ever get hit unless you suffer dire consequences. Maybe a high evasion ranged character would be kind of cool. But with that, everyone has learned a white secret. There is no point in further manipulating the white lion. We have to kill him still. So I'm just going over my stats here. Not sure why I clicked on the hand. And I need to figure out, who do I want to go first? Some things that need to be taken care of. We want Link to lose the priority target token at some point. Monkey is our best bet for triggering the trap of the lion. We still have not done that yet. And thanks to Immortal, he's pretty much a super tank for the next 14 damage. So it's really safe to send Monkey D. McCloud in there to take hits. And he manages to get 1 hit. Remember, he's fighting with Fist and Tooth, so once we draw this hit location... Oh! After staring at his bloody stump for what must have been hours in game, The lion was like, I was simply rusing you all. We finally draw the trap card, which is perfect. This is actually what I wanted to do. So monkey becomes doomed, but that's not a big deal. And the lion gets to perform a free basic action. Monkey will take the hit. Come here, puppy. What are you upset about? I'm just reading over the trap rules here. I'm not sure why I spent so much time on it, because I do know how it works. Hit location deck gets reshuffled immediately. And the lion will do a free basic attack against the monkey. I guess I should mention I figured out how to shuffle cards on the table with the shortcut key, the R button. So I won't be picking them up and flailing them about in the future. I'll just be shuffling them in place. Monkey takes a hit to the head and the body, but he doesn't care. He thinks he's immortal, so he just takes brain damage through sheer willpower. I don't know how that works, but I won't complain. Immortal is a pretty cool disorder to have. At the same time, it's pretty scary too. Once you run out of insanity, you like never want to take any damage. If you can get the Immortal disorder with Leyline Walker, that seems like it would be useful. Because you don't need armor if you have Immortal. Armor does you no good. Besides providing a bonus stat or something. Alright, looks like past me is just thinking about the situation I find myself in. I'm checking the Peerless rule over. It's not yet committed to memory. So with that, Monkey had attacked. We still have our other characters that can go. Now, I feel like what I should do here, I don't think I did it, but Captain Falcon should still be manipulating the AI deck. What he should be doing, I should have let the tiger attack me here. So his stump leg is the effect we get. Nothing will happen. And then let everyone else attack the lion, trying to mill his claw card. If the other three failed to cause a wound, Captain Falcon should have manipulated the AI cards so I can put the bloody stump back on top. That's how I should have proceeded with this fight. It would have been a temporary flawless safety net. Well, near flawless. There's still reactions that can cause us damage, but the lion wouldn't be attacking us until I mill both of his wounds. Or both of his AI cards through wounding. Link here manages to score a hit. Unfortunately, he only gets a 7. And he does not cause a wound. I was just thinking to myself right now, did he actually score 2 hits instead of 1? Because he has the +1 accuracy, but that 5 doesn't hit from the side. It would have hit from behind, but it doesn't hit from the side. So no harm, no foul. The lion gets to make a free basic attack because we failed to cause a wound. Of course, scoring 2 hits, and unfortunately, Link is going to be suffering some scary damage here to the body and to the hand. The body goes down to heavy, so he is knocked down. And right here, to avoid rolling on the chart, I think... Do I roll on the chart? I might spend the survival. I think I spend the survival to dodge. I do spend the survival to dodge. I dodge the body, and I'm gonna roll for the hand. Alright, we roll a 7 on the severe injury chart. For his arms, Link now has a broken arm. Ear-shattering crunch. He loses 1 permanent accuracy and 1 permanent strength. This can be recorded twice. Gain 1 bleeding token. So Link loses his permanent benefits because he has the broken arm severe injury. And while I'm updating it here in the notes, once again, I'll start using the severe injury cards to denote severe injuries. I actually already updated all of their sheets appropriately. So we'll be ready to move along a little quicker next time. Something I do want to check here, though, I might need to retcon this situation. It's a little late since it's all gone and past. After Link's attack, we're going to move him into the grass so he gets the evasion bonus. But the thing I might need to retcon, when the lion attacks you through a reaction, I forget if you can spend survival. I think you can. I don't know why I'm doubting myself at the moment, but I'll double check and make sure that you can do it when the lion reacts, because it's not causing doom. So you should be able to... I think you can react with survival during attacks from a failed wound or something like that. A reaction on the hit location card. But I'll make sure I double check that for the future. So the lion goes. I believe he drew his stump leg attack with the vicious claw or whatever it is, the combo claw. It's one of the two. We milled one of them. This would have been a much easier fight if I had kept both of those cards as the last 2 in the deck. Here, Link is going to spend his action to hide in the tall grass, so he loses the priority target token, which is good for me. I think I made an error here too. Because Link had the priority target token, the lion should have been facing Link, not Captain Falcon. I did a roll there to see who the random target was, because it says to choose a random survivor for the attack, but I'm pretty sure priority target token takes precedence over random survivor. So here we have Monkey. He's rolling, he's slashing with his claws, try and get a hit in. I guess he's staying a little bit distant from the lion because he completely whiffs. I leave Zelda away, and the lion here gets an opportunity to do his claw attack. It will be on to Captain Falcon, since he is the closest character not in the blind spot, and Link is currently ducking in the grass. He's not considered a threat for this round. So the lion scores 2 hits. Our great evasion serving no purpose here. But Captain Falcon has plenty of armor and health. We do get hit in the head, which is pretty annoying. And we get hit in the body as well. I spend 1 survival to dodge the body blow because I don't want Captain Falcon to be knocked down. I don't think I'm going to spend both of my survival here. Do I spend both? Just to dodge the attacks? I guess I opted to spend both survivals. I'm okay with that decision. Because I feel like you should use your survivals to avoid damage as much as possible. I could have just lost the armor on the head though. I didn't have to spend my survival there. I could have saved it for surging to try and get Captain Falcon to get some damage in. Right now I'm trying to figure out, can I get Captain in to start hitting? We want Link out of the way because he is in danger of severe injuries. I bring Zelda in. Yeah, I was going to say, she would be in the way. She shouldn't go in there first. So, we're going to actually attack with Captain Falcon here. And unfortunately, you get 2 misses. That's to be expected for Fist and Tooth. Zelda! Yeah, hold on to her. We still have Monkey, who can take a turn. That is the smarter decision. Gonna get Monkey up the lion's butt. We'll find out. Can we land a blow here? 2 and a 5, that doesn't cut it. We're having a pretty poor couple of rounds. This might be karma for abusing the lion to get White Secret, because our characters seem to be missing their attacks at the moment. So I tell myself, Zelda just needs to get in here and do her hit. But she fails to hit as well. I don't think it's a big deal because we shuffled Vicious Claw on top, I hope. Or Combo Claw, whatever it was. I did get the Combo Claw. So the lion will simply whimper. I think this is a good time. I'm really kicking myself at the moment. Captain Falcon should have always moved last after everyone else attacked, so he can manipulate the AI cards to put Vicious Claw back on top. Right there, I believe I did use his ability, but he did it first. I shouldn't have done that. Because what I'm doing right here is I'm trying to mill the Combo Claw, which is a mistake. I should be milling the damaging card. So I'm not sure why I didn't realize that at the time. Zelda does manage to finally land a hit. Trying to gouge the chest of the lion here with her Founding Stone. Can she stab it hard enough? No, we get a 4. So the lion makes a full move reaction due to the failure of the wound. And I believe I will probably end up passing my turn here and just letting the lion viciously claw me. I'm going to clean up the table just a tad, I think. I'm counting to see if Monkey can get in there and attack. Should we get in there and attack? The answer is no, we shouldn't. I backed the lion up 1. I moved him 6. He does have the other permanent, or not the permanent injury, but he did get the other critical wound and lost 1 movement. So we fix his positioning there. He only runs 5 spaces. I can attack him. This is a mistake. If I made that lion run 5 spaces away, which I'm really lucky, we get 2 hits with Monkey. Oh man. And we roll two cards, the Fuzzy Groin and the Ear. 2 cards that don't move the lion. If he ran 5 spaces though, he would go after the Nightmare Fruit on the next turn and recover a wound. So I roll to punch the lion in the dick first. And we don't punch him hard enough. We simply tickle his balls a little bit. Then I roll to try and punch his ear. Unfortunately, Monkey doesn't cause any damage here. I was checking his profile for modifiers. But no, there's no strength modifiers on Monkey. We need to roll those 8s in order to cause wounds. I actually have the phone going at the moment. I'm just gonna ignore that because I'm trying to do an audio recording here for a video that I've pre-recorded. I do apologize again though. The rest of this video series I will absolutely make sure is done live. Alright. Monkey, I make a mistake here. The tiger is doing a claw attack, so he goes through Monkey to get to the nearest survivor. That's fine. I roll for damage for Monkey to take random damage, and that is a mistake. When you collide with the monster, or when the monster collides with you, either passing through you or landing on your space, you don't take damage for that unless there's a card that specifies you do. The Nightmare Ram, or the Screaming Antelope Nightmare Ram. I'm thinking of Etrian Odyssey here. But the Screaming Antelope has a trait card where every time he collides with you, you do take a damage to a random hit location. The Lion doesn't have that though. The Lion only harms you when he does his grab effect. So I did make a mistake there, because the Lion simply knocked Monkey down. Taking a look at the Beast's Temple here. Oh, I think I missed it while I was talking. So, Captain Falcon, did he roll to call? He did roll to cause damage to the Lion. So, I got a crit too. No, I'm actually I lost what's going on the game because I was lost in thought, looking away from the screen for a moment. Alright. I'm not sure what occurred there. If I watched it over again, I could follow what's going on, but we critically wounded... Oh! Oh! Wait a minute. Did I throw Founding Stone at the Lion just so I can eliminate his claw attack? I think I missed that part. Your Monkey is still knocked down. I think I threw a Founding Stone to instantly crit. Link threw his Founding Stone, didn't he? That's what happened there. So Zelda's getting in up the Lion's butt. She manages to slash at his tail. And she rolls a crack. We're going to re-roll that dice real quick. Finally, after a while of trying, we get a wound. Alright. And Link did throw his Founding Stone right in between the Lion's eyes, hitting him in the head. So that's what occurred there. The Lion moves forward as a reaction to the hit location that occurred. And right here I was feeling pretty good about that reaction because Link has a clean shot to try and kill this Lion off. Yeah, I see he no longer has a Founding Stone. So, fist and tooth. He rolls a 7. That is an 8. But the Lion's clever ploy comes up. He merely wanted Link to dive right in. Oh man, I got really worried when I drew this card. I'm still worried now. Because Link is hurting pretty badly. He's already got a broken hand. And the lion, of course, lands 2 blows with his clever ploy. So Link is gonna be batted once, twice into his body, taking 2 hits there. Luckily for Link, though, he's undamaged there currently, so he'll only be knocked down. But that's still a really, really, really bad happening. So Link is pretty wounded. The hit location deck becomes shuffled once again. The lion is nearly dead. We only need to do 1 more wound to finish him off. And he has his basic action. This is only effective move, so he will push Link to the side, which doesn't really matter as he was already knocked down. And Captain Falcon here will be taking the hit, which is what I like. He's in the grass, ready to do his defensive thing. Here's where I make another mistake. I give Link damage, and I roll him on this chart when I'm not supposed to. So this might have to be retconned. 7 to the body. He suffers a ruptured spleen. He has to skip the next hunting phase, and he takes 2 bleeding tokens. So this doesn't actually occur. And I can tell you from my knowledge of the future, this is a happy, I guess, coincidence. I don't have to retcon this occurrence. Because Link is going to skip the next hunt phase regardless due to something that's going to occur. And that will make him skip it. So that damage doesn't matter. It technically shouldn't have occurred as the lion doesn't do damage when it passes through you or collides with you. Here, against Captain Falcon, I felt that 1 dice was a crack. So I re-rolled it, but he gets a 1 and a 3. So our captain is once again skillfully perfect blocking the lion's attacks. And here I find myself ready to finish this lion off. So we let loose a mighty falcon punch. We do manage to get a hit, but can we hit the sweet spot, or will he, what's that terminology? Right into his throat, too. Very safe location to hit. Will he DI away from the edge of the board, though? Will the lion hang in there? We get only a 7. 7 doesn't wound with tooth and fist. Because there's no strength on that weapon. We need an 8 to wound. So unfortunately, the lion DI'd properly. He doesn't get knocked out. Captain Falcon made a valiant effort there, though. But this fight is far from over. Hello, puppy. Just wait a minute. So we're going to get Monkey into the back of the lion. And perhaps he can claw off the butt or something and get this beast to keel. He does land a hit. He lands the hit in a really good location. No negative effects. If he could just punch it hard enough, we could win this fight right here, right now. Unfortunately, he only gets a 2. This lion doesn't want to be put down. So, I throw caution to the wind here, and I bring Zelda in. Maybe Zelda can finish this beast off. How do we do? We do get one hit. And she manages to hit the ribs. It's actually a good location. Especially since we have understanding. Can she punch through the ribs though? Zelda! No, she only gets a 2. She just hurts her hand on the tough rib cage of this lion. So the lion does not want to be put down, no matter what. He will perform his basic action. The closest survivor in field of view is a 50-50 between Zelda and Captain Falcon. So we roll evens and odds. Captain is evens. Zelda will be odds. Let's find out who this lion wants to murderize. Unfortunately for me, he does pick Zelda for his attack. He rolls 2 hits, which is pretty expected of the lion. Zelda's about to get wrecked. Oh my god. She takes 2 blows to her head. This is so bad. The Zelda does have her severe injury perk, but she's already damaged in the head. We have to roll twice on the severe head injury table. Real quick, I think I'm going to double check the white secret milestone because I want to see if I can choose which injury I get to ignore. However, or not the white secret, the insight. It says clearly you ignore the next severe injury this showdown. So we have to ignore the first one we roll no matter what. Can Zelda hang in there? First severe injury that she gets. This is the one that gets ignored. She rolls high, an 8, so she would have been fine, but I have to ignore the 8. I can't choose to ignore the next dice roll. And I'm sure you can tell from how I've been speaking. Oh, she rolls a 1! Zelda's head explodes. She head erupts in a shower of gore, killing her instantly. All other survivors are so disturbed by the sight, they lose 1 survival. So we went from completely manipulating this cat to the cat murdering Zelda. She's eliminated from the game, dead in a bloody shower. Didn't even get to throw her goddamn founding stone. Unfortunately for me, we will be making... Well, we'll have to figure out what we're doing with her carcass later on. So we still have a lion to kill in front of us here. I think I started to get worried. This is another moment where I wish it was the original recording because I had like a high of energy at what was going on. I felt so bad for Zelda. She didn't have to die. You can see I'm getting cautious here. I pick up Link and move him away because he's the next most vulnerable character to die. Captain Falcon should be relatively okay, and Monkey would be completely okay for a while due to him thinking he is immortal. So we have Captain Falcon go first, and the death of Zelda did not suit well with Captain Falcon. He catches the lion making a jump. Launches a falcon knee. Does he get a critical hit zone? See, I was really hyped for trying to end the game here. I rolled both of these dice. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to do that. I do roll an 8, but I catch myself. I say what I just did. I can't make that assignment. That's what I said. And I am going to re-roll for both of them to do it properly. But almost as if it was meant to be. I don't know if you believe in destiny or not, but for the beast's knee, Captain Falcon gets a pretty damn good blow off. Yeah, you can see I was living in the hype of the situation. And we actually rolled the 8. It was meant to be an 8. Captain Falcon knees the lion and kills it. Unfortunately, it was one round after Zelda's head gets clean chopped off or pulled off, but what are you going to do? So that will end our first hunt. We're not quite done here. What I'm going to be doing is all of the resources, the rewards that we earn for our successful hunt, and I'll be updating the deaths. We're going to look into our new death principle. Because the nightmare fruit was never eaten, we do gain the lonely fruit strange resource, and we get to add it to our collection. This is a consumable item that if you consume it during the settlement phase, you can activate a story event, which I believe brings you to the Lonely Tree and unlocks that fight. Yeah. Consume an archive to Lonely Tree. So, that is something I can consider doing in the future. I'm just bringing up the White Lion Showdown to check out the rewards. The first time the White Lion is defeated, I guess technically the second time, if you count the prequel, you get the Catarium added to your settlement locations. And then you gain the following rewards based on the level of the monster. 4 basic and 4 White Lion resources is what we get. So we're going to be doing that. I will flip over the Catarium. We can now make White Lion gear. And let's find out what sort of resources we draw from this hunt. Manage to pull great cat bone, some white fur, another great cat bone, and the shimmering mane. It's actually pretty decent. Shimmering mane kind of counts like 2 hides when you discard it. So I'm just copying the cards because in this game you record the resources you get and you always put the cards back into the decks. The resources never thin. So their rarity values for obtaining them is always the same, based on how many are in the deck. And then we will pick up some normal resources. Right here will be the second embarrassing moment for me. Due to perspective, because the strange resource deck is so tall, I thought the resources were like right next to the strange resources. And it bothered me for some reason. I won't have to worry about that in the future because I know how to shuffle cards without picking them up now. So we'll be doing that. Putting my mind at ease a tad. But for our regular resources, we get a couple more monster bones, which is really good, an organ, and a skull. And when you gain a skull, the survivor of your choice gains 1 insanity. So I am going to be randomizing who gains the insanity, doing it the usual way. And I do roll a 3. So Monkey gets it. In hindsight, because Zelda is dead, I should have changed it so that 1 to 3 was Falcon, and then 4 to 6 Monkey, 7 to 8, or 7 to 9 Link, and then 10 would have been a reroll since there's only 3 characters alive. But I left it at the normal 1, 2, 3, 4. I was just gonna reroll it if it landed on Zelda, so not a big deal. But these are the sweet rewards we get. So many bones is a really good thing because I'll be able to make a lot of weapons with those resources. Getting them early is pretty fantastic. We also got enough hide that I will be able to finish up 1 complete set of armor, of the rawhide armor. So with the resource gathering out of the way, I'm simply double checking what steps are to be taken next for us. We're going to gain our endeavors. Our survivors will be returning and healing light and heavy injuries that they get. And then we're going to be undergoing a very interesting settlement event, actually. And it's getting a little dark in my room. Let me get the light on real quick for the rest of this. So, past me is probably saying some interesting things. We're going to get our endeavors out. We only get 3 because Zelda died during the hunt. And we are going to draw our settlement event. Season of the Spiderlings. Spiderlings are falling from the sky and into the settlement by the dozen. Now, I'm going to zoom in a moment because the word over there confused me a little bit. It looked blurry. It's like buoyed, or I don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's buoyed. They buoyed through the air on silk parachutes. I still don't even know what that means. I'm thinking like a buoy, like in the water or something, like bobbing in the air. Anyway, 1 at a time, each player nominates a survivor and rolls on the table below based on their personal attributes. You do this 4 times and then determine victory or failure. -2 to all roll results if the settlement has the legless ball innovation. So we don't have that innovation. I love that smug looking face on that one guy there. It's just so good. But we have a lot of insane... we have 3 insane survivors. I'm going to be nominating the 3 returning people from the hunting party. And then, since we can't nominate Zelda, I need to nominate 1 other person from the encampment. So we're going to pull out a random guy. And I decided that since Mario was our original prospector dude, I should nominate Mario. So here I just I flipped out Marth, but I decided against using Marth. And then I wanted to get Mario. There he is. Mario to participate in this Spiderling event. So he'll be dealing with flying spiders along with our returning heroes. And I think we're going to roll for Mario first. He does not have 3+ courage, and he's not insane, so he will roll on the 3rd table. And let's see how he handles this thing going on. He handles it really well, apparently. So, victory for Mario. He ousts the beast without taking a scratch and gains 3 survival. That's, whatever for him. He only gets the 1. because our limit is at 2. Next up is Captain Falcon. Let's see how an insane person deals with spiders falling from the sky. He rolls a 5, and according to this, on a 4 to 7, he achieves victory by eating every spiderling in sight. Gain the binge eating disorder. And I believe it said something else was going to happen to him. Oh, he must skip the next hunt phase. If you remember when we were dealing with Link taking unnecessary damage, the reason why I don't have to retcon it is because, well, Link is going to be eating spiders. Yum. Delicious. I can kind of imagine Link eating spiders. Captain Falcon eating spiders? That's a little weird to picture, but alright, he's crazy. He eats spiders. Next up is Monkey. Oh, we're going to look for the binge eating, right. The binge eating disorder. This is a pretty bad disorder to have. Kind of. So once I pull this card out, we'll read what it says, its lore, and find out what it does. So, binge eating. Eating is the only thing that helps you escape your miserable life. You cannot depart unless you have consumable gear in your grid. You must consume if a choice to consume arises. So I'm going to have to craft some consumable gear if I ever want to send Captain Falcon back out on a hunt in the future. Hopefully I can get a lot of organs for that. Monkey is next up, and he gets the same result as Falcon. So he is also a binge eater, and he is also eating spiders to victory. And I already spoiled it, but once we get to Link, the last survivor participating in this settlement event, he's also a spider eater. Yeah, with a 7 as well. So he must skip the next hunt, which was already on there. And he will also be a binge eater. So I need a lot of consumable items if I want to send out this party as a group. So with that, more than 2 survivors achieved victory. The settlement vanquishes the spiderlings. The 4 nominated survivors gain 1 permanent strength and 1 level of weapon proficiency if eligible. So Mario here, if he had gone out with us, he would have had a weapon proficiency, but he didn't go with us. He doesn't get XP. He only gets 1 strength permanently, which is pretty nice. Come on past me. What are you thinking about? Hunt XP is gained immediately before the settlement event. So Captain Falcon will get his 1 strength. Monkey will get his 1 strength, which is really nice for him. Link, however, ages before this spiderling event occurs. That means he will get his weapon proficiency, and we must do the age milestone event for Link. We should have done that before the spiderling event. So we're going to do it now. Look at this creepy picture there. Your time in the darkness changes you. Gain the benefits for the Hunt XP milestone you have reached. A survivor may only gain each milestone benefit once a lifetime, and weapon proficiency is the first one. You may gain a weapon proficiency of your choice. There are more weapons you can choose from that are part of the expansions. So there's more to choose than what is listed here, but we're going to just, even though I don't have a sword, and I'm nowhere near being able to make a sword. I think the bone blade does count as a sword. I'll have to double check, but we're just gonna give Link the sword proficiency, and he gets to add 1 towards that counter already, thanks to the Spiderling event. He already... I think I got a little confused here. I forgot if I added the Spiderling strength to him, but I definitely did add the Spiderling strength first. Past me doesn't remember. I vaguely remember. And now we get a free roll on the experience chart for weapon proficiency. And with our roll, we gain 1 permanent strength because we rolled a 5. So Link got two strength, 1 for the spiders and 1 for proficiency. So that's pretty nice for him. And after that occurs, I think that about summarizes wrapping up for now. We will be updating the death count and choosing our settlement's principle regarding death next. I believe that's what we're going to do. This card goes back into the settlement deck for next time, since we are done with it. And now that the settlement event is done, what we need to do is update our death count. I guess Past Me is going to remind himself of what comes next. I still don't have this fully committed to memory. It's also nice just to make sure you're doing it in order. So yeah, a settlement event happens before the death count is updated. There's a reason why death count is updated after the settlement event. Sometimes you can get into yet another fight during the settlement events, so death count happens afterwards. I forget what I had a question about here. This is another reason why I wish... I was looking at settlement events for some reason. But that's a reason why I wish I had the original audio. Just so I can not ponder about it come the post-commentary. So, we have our first death in Zelda Hyrule, which means we need to choose our principle of death. This is a settlement event, or is it a milestone? It's a milestone. Ugh. That picture is gruesome. So as with all of the principles for this playthrough, we're going to determine this randomly. Evens will be on the left, odds will be for the right decision. And our society rolls a 2. We choose the first harvest. The settlement decides to harvest the body for resources. Settlement gains the death principle, cannibalize. Find and place the card on the settlement board, note it on the settlement record sheet, and then roll on that chart for some benefit. So Nintendia is a settlement that loves their children, but when you die, we're going to eat you and gain your power like a old tribe of humans from years and years past. So whenever a survivor dies, you draw 1 basic resource card, add it to our storage. This is actually kind of cool. Right here, I remember I did not yet copy and paste the basic resources. If you ever don't know if you archive them properly, there should be 21 basic resources in the deck at all times. So I do copy them first, and it's some difficulty getting them sorted later. There we go. Now I shuffle them back in, and hopefully, I don't know why these 4 cards. Oh, I accidentally locked the deck. I don't know how I did that, but we fixed that. Shuffle them back in before drawing our new scavenge resource, which is love juice. Now, I don't know, a whole lot about human anatomy, but where are we getting love juice off of cannibalizing Zelda? It's a little weird to me, but whatever. We get some love juice from her. And then we're going to add her to this cool death tracker that is provided in this game module. I have to fix her last name real quick because I called her Hyrule, not Hylian. And then I'm going to, real quick, add a fancy description for how Zelda died so we can remember her forever. Zelda's head exploded when the white lion viciously clawed her face clean off of her body. The bloody scene terrorizing her fellow survivors. Alright, so the death count is updated. We're gonna roll for what happens on this death event, and we get a 7. So for a 7, nominate a survivor. The survivor fanatically tears the corpse open and deeply drinks its blood. They decide that for every new creature they eat, they will become stronger. The survivor gains +1 permanent speed. Well, if you're a fan of Zelda, I hope you don't take it too personally, but we are going to completely cannibalize her. As for who I choose to do that, I figured it's good to pass the benefits around. In this game, you want to win as a society as a whole. So I just pick a random female survivor. Samus Aran is going to cannibalize Zelda. But for doing so, she gains 1 speed, which is a really good stat to get boosts in. Having a lot of attacks is, I don't know, it's good to have a lot of attacks, more chance to hit, more chance to wound. It's also a little worrisome because if you get a ton of hits, you can trigger the trap a lot easier, which is dangerous. With that, we are officially on the 2nd lantern year as another lantern light fades in the darkness. You have to remember that our settlement location is in the Lantern Horde. So that about ends this video. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble on. I'll be cleaning up the boards, preparing for the next hunt. In the next video, we will read over the timeline event. I won't do that here. And I will have live commentary from now onward. So, once again, thank you very much for listening to me. Feel free to end the video here. I don't have much to add. The rest of it will just be whatever I was originally saying. But in the next episode, we will begin the 2nd lantern year. I hope you guys look forward to it.